The iron gates groaned as they slid shut with a final, humiliating clang, and for the first time in years, Adam Hale felt like a stranger in front of his own home. Rain streaked down the windshield of his aging SUV, blurring the view of the mansion that rose behind the gate, stone walls, glowing windows, and a life he had built from nothing. His 8-year-old daughter Lily sat beside him, clutching her backpack, eyes wide and confused. When Adam rolled down the window and spoke his name to the guard on duty, he expected recognition. What he got instead was a cold stare and a hand lifted in refusal. "Sir, you're not on the list," the guard said flatly. Adam laughed once, thinking it was a joke. "It wasn't, Doc." He tried again, slower this time, rain soaking his sleeve. "I own this house." The guard didn't even blink. "Step away from the gate." In that moment, something deeper than anger stirred in Adam's chest, an old, familiar ache. The same feeling he'd had years ago when the world told him he didn't belong anywhere. Adam hadn't always lived behind iron gates. He grew up in a cramped apartment with peeling paint and a mother who worked double shifts just to keep the lights on. His father disappeared before he could remember his face, leaving behind a silence that shaped Adam's entire life. When Adam was 25, married young and hopeful, he thought he'd finally broken the cycle. But life had other plans. His wife died giving birth to Lily, and in one breathless night, Adam became a single father with a newborn and a grief so heavy it nearly crushed him. Those early years were brutal. Adam worked days and nights, launching a tech startup from a borrowed laptop while rocking Lily to sleep on his chest. He missed parties, skipped vacations, and learned how to braid hair by watching videos at 3 in the morning. Every success he earned came with exhaustion, and every failure felt personal. But Lily was his anchor. Every smile from her reminded him why he kept going. The mansion wasn't a symbol of wealth to Adam. It was proof. Proof that love, sacrifice, and persistence could change a destiny. Now, sitting outside that gate, soaked and dismissed, Adam felt Lily shift beside him. "Daddy," she whispered, "did we do something wrong?" That question hit harder than the guard's words. Adam swallowed and forced a calm smile. "No, sweetheart. Sometimes grown-ups make mistakes." He stepped out of the car and walked toward the security office, ignoring the rain. Inside, 2 guards stood watching him like he was a problem to be managed, not a man standing on his own land. Adam explained again, voice steady but firm. He showed his ID. The guard barely glanced at it. "Rules are rules," the man said. "You're not authorized." That was when Adam noticed something else, how casually they spoke to him, how little respect they showed, not just to him but to Lily, who stood behind him clutching his coat. This wasn't a simple error. It was negligence wrapped in arrogance. Adam took out his phone. Within minutes, the head of property management called him, panic bleeding through her voice as Adam calmly explained what was happening. She apologized repeatedly, promised to fix it immediately. But Adam wasn't listening anymore. He was watching Lily, who had gone quiet, her eyes fixed on the floor. The gate finally opened, slow and reluctant, as if conceding defeat. Adam drove in without a word, but something inside him had shifted. That night, after Lily was asleep, Adam sat alone in the vast living room, lights dimmed, rain tapping softly against the windows. He replayed the scene over and over, not because of his wounded pride, but because of what Lily had seen. A system meant to protect them had treated them like intruders. And Adam knew something had to change. The next morning, Adam called an emergency meeting. The entire security team stood lined up in the courtyard, crisp uniforms, practiced confidence. They expected a warning, maybe a policy update. They didn't expect Adam to walk out holding Lily's hand. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't insult them. He simply told the truth. He explained who he was, not as the owner, but as a father. He described the years of struggle, the nights without sleep, the fear of losing everything, and how that gate was supposed to represent safety. He told them how Lily had asked if she'd done something wrong, and how no child should ever feel like they don't belong in their own home. Then he looked at the guard who had turned him away. "You didn't make a mistake," Adam said quietly. "You made a choice." One by one, Adam let them go, not out of anger, but out of responsibility. He replaced the entire team with people trained not just in procedure, but in empathy. He implemented policies focused on respect, communication, and accountability. And most importantly, he made sure Lily understood that her worth was never defined by someone else's permission. Weeks later, Lily stood at the gate again, but this time, the guard smiled and waved her through before the car even stopped. She laughed, leaning out the window, waving back. Adam watched her, heart full. The mansion still stood tall behind its gates, but Adam knew the real strength of his life wasn't measured in stone walls or security teams. It was in the quiet resilience of a single father, the love of a child, and the courage to demand dignity, not just for himself, but for the next generation watching. And as the gates opened wide, Adam understood something deeply simple and powerful. A home isn't defined by who you keep out, but by how fiercely you protect the people inside.